Hey everybody, thank you for watching and listening to the Grinds My Gears podcast. Please head over to Spotify, make sure you like and subscribe, as well as head over to YouTube, hit the subscribe button and the like on the video as well, and head over to gmg-podcast.com to get all up-to-date info on the podcast, as well as other special things that we have on that website.
Yep. Ready.
All right. Welcome back to Grind My Gears. It's been a while because, I opened a gym and shit, so I couldn't do this for a while. I've been busy. But it's good to get back and getting back into the podcast and having fun. But we're talking NFL season. It hasn't even begun yet, but a lot has been going on, and you know what? Not much to be said. We don't have to break down, a whole season and stuff, but there's a lot of action been going on. And I think it's got to be the hot topic of the offseason is Lamar Jackson, right? It's not just because I'm a Ravens fan, but was the number one kind of thing that was going around in the league. And I have my feelings about it, but I want to hear what other people think. So let's get the Packers fan to put in there. What do you think about the whole situation with Lamar?
Well, it's good for him. That's one thing. He waited his time. He got what he wanted. The way he plays is reckless, though, right? So he's got to get paid for those years that he's playing, I think. Was he going to get paid again next time? No, who knows? His accuracy, whatever. He's not the complete quarterback, but he was young. It was time for him to get his contract. He was going to get paid regardless if it was with the Ravens or if it was somebody else anyways. That's the way I look at it. I wish the Packers got him since fucking there and left, but
good luck.
Whatever. But I mean, it was better than the Le'Veon Bell situation when Le'Veon was a running back, using his leverage, all that stuff, and then he fizzled out pretty quickly after. Lamar's in his damn prime. Good for him.
Calvin, what do you think?
I was shocked when the Ravens put him on that tag. It was absolutely insane to me that they were willing to give him up for, 2 firsts. I'm surprised the Colts didn't go up and sign him or try to get him. They signed Richardson, who will probably be decent, but he's not going to be Lamar. But I'm happy that the Ravens, they signed Lamar. He got I don't think he's worth $52 million. You guys are a fan. Sorry?
Yeah.
Is anybody?
Right? I don't think he's worth $52 million. But, it's what QBs command at the end of the day. And he got paid. The Ravens are giving him weapons finally. I like the Zay Flowers draft pick. So, overall, I think it was good because realistically, if the Ravens lost him, we would pretty much be in rebuild mode because we don't have anything on our roster that, would lead us to a playoff.
Okay,
and
but
don't say Huntley. Don't go there. Don't even go there.
Fuck you. I like our backups. Stop being a cunt. Here's my thought on it though. What was coming out and him saying that he requested a trade and good for him. Congratulations, you made your money. But I feel like for me as a fan, but also as when I think of it as a business, I was like, you know what? If he doesn't want to be here, fuck him. Now that they gave him his money, all of a sudden, that changes. He didn't request a trade anymore. This animosity wasn't going on. So
money solves everything.
Okay, yeah.
Talking about it, anytime you pay the player, everything is under the bridge now. He has his money, so whatever they were speaking about in negotiations and stuff like that, that's all water under the bridge now. He has his money. What is he going to bitch and complain about now? The Ravens paid you. You
Okay,
know,
I'm not saying that, but like, what about like? Do you think it could create some animosity in the locker room because he said he wanted out? Like, what do you think about the fans? Like, I'm halfway in and out on him because I was pretty much ready to say until like the draft was coming up, and then the news came out, but I was pretty much saying, okay, whatever, let's move on at this point.
for me, as a Ravens fan, I'm happy, but it's like again, you have to think about the business aspect of stuff, right? Players want to get paid. They're in an extremely violent sport. You know,
Yeah,
I consider it like one of the most violent sports that you could possibly play. Listen, you need to do what you need to do to get paid because you're not guaranteed to play another season. All it takes is one good hit to end your career. Look at the Bills Hamlin, you
yeah.
know,
Well,
freak hit, and he's having a heart attack on the field. Who knows if he's going to ever play again?
well, he shouldn't play again. If you were
He
being honest,
shouldn't. But
they said he's ready to play again. The doctors clear him, but I'm like,
look at
look,
Tua. Look at Tua
yeah,
too. Dude suffered a million concussions last year,
yeah.
and he's coming back to play. But all these guys want to get paid. So as a fan, it's like, yeah, you did us kind of dirty. But then the business aspect of stuff you have to think about as well. Like, hey, I don't. I may not have 5-6 years in me. I might get my knees taken out and stuff. I need something to
Well,
guarantee.
there's my point. If we kind of got a hint of this last 2 seasons. He's not a 16 game quarterback. He's not gonna like. I don't think they what he signed him for 5 years. I don't think in the next 5 seasons he will play 16 games. He will not play 16 games in either any of those seasons.
See, but we have a new OC, right? And we've been asking for a new OC. So I say give it a season or two to see what this new OC has. Maybe it's more passing, less
Yeah,
running.
but him being available has nothing to do with the OC. He's not gonna like. I don't. He's not gonna stay healthy for 16 games with that style of play. He
He
won't.
runs less, maybe. He has to run less.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. So who knows? Who knows? He needs to open up more with his passing. I think he depends far too much on the tight ends, way too much on the tight ends, and not on the receivers. You wanted OBJ and stuff. You finally got OBJ, but Andrews can't always be your number one wide receiver. You need
Well,
to pass
the
the ball more so than just Andrews.
the they got the they brought in like kudos to them. I think most Ravens fans and just people in general who are following the NFL were pretty like, what the fuck is the Ravens management doing in the first 10 days of free agency? Because like absolutely nothing
Oh,
was done,
yeah.
and we were at it. I think a lot of people were at the point of writing them off. Like, okay, they're not going to do this. They can't. They're not going to come to an agreement with Lamar. And then within the last, I'd say 2 weeks, you look at it and you're like, wow, they have had a pretty good offseason so far when it started off really poorly.
No, I agree with that. I agree with that. We still need a bit of depth at certain positions, but for the most part, I'd say, we're back this season. And again, it goes back to if Lamar can stay healthy.
Well, what do you think about bringing Hopkins in, which is the rumor, Adrian?
Don't you have too much? Like, I think your receiving core got a lot better over the last little bit, right? So, like, I don't know what else bosses, but D Hop after he came back from injury last year, he killed it for like 6 games that he had an actual quarterback, and then they didn't have an actual quarterback anymore, and then he sucked. But I mean, he still got it. I feel like the separation's not there, but the route running is pretty precise, and the hands are pretty good.
Well, and
So, like,
he's physical too. He's a big guy.
yeah, he just didn't have separation speed like he used to, and he did lose that, unfortunately. But I mean, obviously improvements if you get him. But
Okay, okay, but everyone says we improved the receiving core. But
fuck that. I think really, what do the good quarterbacks do? Dump offs, find those running backs in the lanes. Like that's what the good quarterbacks do. And Lamar's
Yeah.
got to learn to do that because he
well,
doesn't do that.
well, this as positive as like you just said though. You're like, oh yeah, we improved the receiving core, but did we really? Because you look at two of the guys that we so called improved with, like Bateman and OBJ, like
Bar's
they're
low, so
they're never healthy. Like as quick as it looks good, as quick as this can go downhill. So you do have to bring in somebody like D-Hop. I know we signed Nelson Aguilar too, but
Oh, that was
He dropped
I
the ball.
I don't think that like you can't rely on Bateman to be healthy, and you don't know what OBJ you're gonna get. So I feel like people are too ahead of themselves on that receiving core. I don't think it's there yet. I think they need to add a big piece though.
on paper it looks good, right? We don't on field play is going to be like you're saying is going to be a different thing, but on paper, our receiving core looks really good.
Yeah, but that's like barring the health thing
Right.
because I think that's the biggest issue for these players that for the Ravens. And looking at that entire division, like I don't think the Browns made much of an upgrade in this offseason.
No,
The only thing they're counting on is Watson to probably play better, now that his rapes are behind him, he can focus on
Grenade.
he could focus on committing some other crimes while playing, right? The fucking uh the Bengals are still a threat. The only problem with the Bengals are the running game is in question now because P. Ryan retired,
Really?
and yeah, and Joe Mixon is possibly going to jail or something like that. So they have to like I wouldn't even be like Ezekiel's still available, right? So that could be an upgrade.
I heard a crazy Henry from the Titans might be on the trade block, and the Bengals might go after him. So
If
if they
I'm
did that,
They
would
just
be
need to. They just need a goal line back in that offense. To be
yeah,
honest with you,
they
someone
also
to
need
pick up
their
two.
they also
well,
need their O line to their O line was pretty good, but come playoffs time, it's like I don't know
Yeah,
what it is. But they signed like all these O lines because when they made it to the Super Bowl, the O line was absolutely atrocious. Then
they addressed that though. They addressed that.
no, they did, but then when they got to the playoffs again, it was kind of their weakness. It was good in the regular season, but their weakness in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Right? So
But mind you, like I'm not saying this because I'm a Raven fanboy. The Ravens outplayed them in that game. It was one simple mistake. Like in essence, the Bengals shouldn't have been in the Super Bowl last year. They got outplayed in that game against the Ravens, and it was a very, very costly. I mean, I don't need to go into it, but that stupid fucking jumping idiot, Tyler Huntley,
oh yeah, you're playing.
and that cost them the game, literally.
Yeah,
So
I would still play that cost.
so I mean, knowing that, keeping that in mind, are the Bengals that strong and they didn't upgrade anything yet?
I
Right? I
think
mean,
I think they're still dangerous. I don't think they really needed to upgrade that much. Um, I think they're still a danger to the Ravens.
and now you go look at the Pittsburgh, Adrian. Like,
Them.
how competitive do you think they're going to be? Like, I mean, they're one of the more pesky fucking teams. They could show you the shittiest roster and still. I mean, like I hate him, but Tomlin's a fucking fantastic coach. Like, you can't.
Yeah,
He's legit. I mean, otherwise the cheating and the trying to trip my fucking players and losing prospects. Other than that, like he's a fantastic coach. So he's like one of those guys who can make something out of nothing. But do you guys see them being competitive this year with?
well, Pickett's got to take a step up, right? So if Pickett takes a step up, and then who's that receiver guy? Najee Harris. I don't know if he's the real deal or not. He looked kind of like he slows down as the year went by. But who was that? Pickens, the
Yeah,
receiver
yeah,
Pickens.
George.
David Pickens. Yeah,
Pickens, and they got that guy from Georgia, tight end, second round there so that bolsters the double tight end set with Fryermuth. So now they got two legit tight ends, and they
yeah,
run Pickens and Deontay Johnson. I mean, the offense has pieces, and you know what they do come with is that fucking defense, right? So
yeah.
man, they play defensive ball, and if the offense can take a slight step up, yeah, man, they're just like the Ravens with a good defense, okay offense. That's basically what it is, right? So, I mean, all those teams in that division play all grimy and shit like that, right?
Yeah.
So,
The
Pittsburgh will be last in the division. So I think it will be. I think it will be a shootout between the Ravens, Bagels, and then Cleveland and Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Given kind of what happens, I don't see much changing unless Rapey McGee like has some sort of MVP season, but like he doesn't have much tools. But
Nope.
I mean, the biggest shakeup I think in terms of a division was the the Jets. Like so, like
I think it was a stupid trade.
I don't know.
so talk to me about it. Like, okay, as a Packers fan, I don't know if I want to give up the guy. I thought I would have. You guys would have want to keep like. Okay, here's the thing. The fucking guy is 1 year removed from 2 MVPs. Like he's
I,
not. He's not. He's not like he had one subpar season, right? And it wasn't even that bad. You guys were like a couple plays away from making the playoffs, and then everyone kind of wrote him off in Green Bay, and then like
I am tired of his fucking divaness. That's really what I'm tired of. Him then his I want to go to a dark retreat. I want to do this. We always have the whole season depends on what Aaron wants to do the next year. You know what? I was blessed with Brett. Got succeeded by Aaron. I don't know what to make here of the Jordan Love, but as a Packer fan, it's time to say goodbye. I think because he wasn't willing to ride into the sunset. I don't think he was. He always thinks he's better than he actually is, and he might be actually deteriorating. Who knows? As a passer, I mean, I don't know, but I was okay with the rebuild. It's time. We gave away Devontae. He was my favorite fucking player in the world. And they
Yeah.
gave away Jordy Nelson. He was my second favorite fucking player in the world. So once you start giving away those guys,
yeah,
that's it, man.
I think
I cried when Jordy left.
I think the Packers have done a horrible job. Period.
Yeah.
You signed a quarterback to replace Rodgers. Now Love is on the last year of his contract on a prove it year. No guarantee. They're gonna have to pay him ridiculous. If he plays good this year, the
Yep.
Packers are gonna have to pay him ridiculous money, which is
Stupid.
absolutely absurd for a quarterback who may play good one season. Then you go and you give up. I don't think Aaron Rodgers is all that great. Like for all the hype that Rodgers has, to only have one Super Bowl, to be this pinnacle of quarterbacks, to me, MVPs are great, but Super Bowls are better. And to have only one Super Bowl in your careers, it's kind of crazy to be called the greatest. And then you go to the Jets after a poor ass season. To me, the Jets overspent. They gave up too much. They should have never. They again.
yeah, but
You could have had Lamar for 2 first-round picks. Let's be real. You would have had to give him the money. Okay, fine. But you're paying Aaron, what, $50 million for this season?
Same thing, yeah, pretty much.
You could have had Lamar for $52 million X amount of years. But you went with almost 40-year-old quarterback, paying him almost the same.
yeah, but okay, all the hate aside, the guy fucking knows how to win. Like, if you want to compare, I don't give a shit about Lamar being.
Can't beat San Francisco.
Well, I don't give a shit. No, who cares? Like Aaron Rodgers has an immense resume in terms of success in playoffs than any of those guys. So I think that I'm not defending them, but I think they felt like this was their time. Like if they were going to make a leap in the NFL, they've been at the bottom of the pack for so long. They have a decent roster now. I think the last piece was, getting somebody to lead them at quarterback. And if Aaron can do it for 2 years and they can make a trade after to get a quality guy in, for example, if they can, use Aaron for another 2 years and pick up somebody like a Garoppolo who's available at that time, I don't see that be that. I think
Why not want Garoppolo from the get-go then?
well,
He was available for
cheaper.
trade.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying it was a good management call. I'm saying that they felt like they had to make something significant happen. And I agree there was other things, but you never know. Like Lamar might not have wanted to go to New York.
well, he wouldn't have had a choice. It's not like he had a no trade clause or anything like that, right? So he doesn't really have a choice of, do I want to go to the, if that's the only team that makes you an offer, it's like, but I feel that like the Jets could have made Derek Carr. I find he's a decent quarterback. Jimmy G,
Oh, I
he's
fucking hate that guy.
underrated.
What, Derek
Derek
Carr?
Carr.
Why do you hate Derek
Yeah.
Carr?
I just hate the way he looks. I just don't like him. There's something about Derek Carr. Maybe it's all the props tickets he's fucked me up.
I don't know. My CBD's kicking in. That was just funny. That was just funny.
He's a decent, but the Jets had other options that they could have went to rather than signing Rodgers.
No, I understand, but like at the same time, I get it from their point of view. I feel like this is their time. They like if they were to wait in another 3 or 4 years to try to groom somebody to take on that role, they may not have the emerging like they have a lot of good young players and a pretty weak division. Let's be honest. Like I don't think. I don't think Buffalo. I think Buffalo's time is over. I don't think they're as elite as people made them out to be. Um,
They struggle. They struggle in the playoffs. They struggle, but regular season they're really good. I think they'll take the division again this year.
I don't agree. I think Miami is the team to beat.
They got weaker.
If Tua can stay healthy.
Okay, but look at that playoff game. Like Miami handled business. Like and they had a what half a they had who's starting quarterback? Bridgewater.
No,
right? No, a third stringer. It was a third stringer.
Yeah, it was fuck it, what's his name?
Yeah, and they were
Skylar Thompson or something.
Yeah, and they were fucking 3 points away from making it past the first round against those guys. So I don't think the Bills are that strong. I think that they've been fortunate to have a positive schedule. And then when things have to get tough, like down the stretch, they're not a strong team. They don't have the depth. They don't have a great receiving core. They have Diggs and that's it. Like the rest of them are very inconsistent, and they lost Devin Singletary. Who did they replace him with? I don't know.
Edmonds.
Some guy out of the draft, I think it was. I can't remember.
So that's my point. Like I don't think the Bills. I think we have seen what their potential was, but I don't think we're going to see that for a few years now. I think they're, in my opinion, in rebuild mode.
Oh, definitely not. You're crazy. You're out
Who do they have? They have one great quarterback and
they
one good receiver.
They have Allen. Allen can do it, and I continuously will go back to Brady not having the greatest. He made names for his wide receivers. Yeah, he's the GOAT, but it just shows at the end of the day you don't necessarily.
Oh yeah, Allen's gonna make Gabriel Davis a fucking elite receiver? No,
obviously not. But
Dawson Knox, baby.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Dawson Knox.
Dalton Kincaid, baby.
Yeah. Fuck yeah, get out of here with that shit.
I think if Tua stays healthy, it will be a battle between the Bills and the Dolphins. But again, that's if Tua can stay healthy.
Well, apparently he started doing judo to learn how to break fall. I think that's a smart thing. I just don't know the level of head trauma he sustained. Because you look at a guy like in the Penguins guy, Sidney Crosby. Yeah, he had significant amounts of head trauma, and he did a lot of therapy. He went into there's a place in Germany where they do that. They put you in some tube and recondition your brain, throw you upside down to kind of So it really depends on what they're doing. The judo is a great thing because let's be honest, unless you do mixed martial arts or any sort of grappling martial arts, most people don't really know how to fall, right? Even when you're getting decked by some 300-pound linebacker, most people don't know how to break fall, right? So I don't know how much of an impact it would have, but I mean, it is a good decision for the team to have him doing things like judo to learn how to fall, because I think that's what his issue was. If you look at some of those injuries, it was more of he hits the ground and his head snaps back, right?
I think they need to start looking for a replacement for him because he's not lasting another 3, 4, 5 years.
Yeah, that's I think so too. The other problem, but they're the most talented on that side. They have the best roster.
Or in the NFL by far.
Yeah. And who do you think takes that division? Do you think that New England kind of takes it, Adrian, or
Nope. It's got to be between but those three teams are going to have it out: Jets, Miami, and the Bills. Um, I don't know. Buffalo's the weakest out of them all, though. To be honest with you,
Yep, that's what I think.
Jets have a better defense than Buffalo does, and they actually put the off. It's how the offense clicks because Brees Hall is a beast and Garrett Wilson's a beast, right? It's how Aaron uses that. His downfall. I feel like the Packers' downfall actually started from when they re-signed Aaron Jones for an exorbitant amount of money that he wasn't worth
Yeah. He
for
should,
running back that can't play three downs.
okay, so here's a interesting thing because like if you look at the West, what's his name? Austin Eckler wants out of the Chargers.
They don't want to pay him.
Yeah, so like if I'm the Packers, I look into that and maybe packaging with a deal with
Oh, I don't think
Aaron
so.
Jones.
Packers are in rebuild mode. I don't think they're gonna spend that kind of money for a running back.
But that's all right. If Jordan Love's going to take that step, he's going to have to dump it off like
Yeah, like that's the best fucking running back in the league to dump the ball to. He's more of a receiver than he is a running back, to be honest with you. Like his value, like he was rumored with the Ravens for a little bit, but he's like in terms of like you're talking about fantasy, he's like one of the top fantasy picks in the last couple of years just from the amount of production he gives you. The guy catches and receives for over 100 yards a game, no matter what. So why wouldn't you want him if you're a team like the Packers? Why wouldn't you want?
I think again, just simply because of rebuild mode, I don't think they're going to pay a running back that type of money.
Well,
I don't think it's going to take that step and explode and wow everyone. I really don't think he.
See, the problem with this division is like Kansas City makes no significant upgrades at all, even though they want to. And the problem though is like you have Mahomes, so you can't ever say like anything about it. Like you can't say, oh, they have a weak roster because they have the best fucking quarterback in the league.
And they want to re-up his contract, even though he has like 8, 9, 4 years on it to make him the highest paid quarterback.
And rightfully so. Rightfully so. He should be.
I agree.
And the only thing in that division is the Raiders. Like, I don't know. Do you think Jimmy G turns it around? Because they have a great team. Like, their defense is a little weak, but they have a good team.
I always say the Raiders are always they're the one team where you never know. They're always 50-50. It's like they're going to either be really good or they're going to be really bad. But you never know with this team.
They're so bad sometimes.
Yeah. I think Jimmy G is better than Derek Carr. So I think that the offense will be a bit better.
Yeah,
he's a better game manager, that's for sure.
They gave up Waller though, so their threats are a lot less now.
Still got Adams, still got Jacobs.
Yeah, I mean that's a sleeper. Jacobs is like he had one of the best seasons you can have last year.
Yeah, so I think they'll be good. And again, I like Jimmy G. I think he's more of he's very underrated, and he's a better quarterback than Derek Carr. So I think the offense will take a step in the right direction.
Now, do you think Jacksonville takes that South Division again, or has like? I mean, Indianapolis didn't do much. Houston had some kind of. They've reworked a little bit. And Tennessee by far to me is the worst team in that division. And I mean the potential of Derrick Henry disappearing makes that team look abnormally crappy, right?
Yep.
I think for me, Houston is not even in the picture at all. There's still major rebuild mode. Indy, they just drafted Richardson. He's probably going to be sitting for at least a year. So I would pick Jacksonville to take the division.
Me too.
Tennessee doesn't even know what they're doing.
No, they like but Jacksonville I think easily takes that division. It's I don't think there's going to be a competition. I think also Jacksonville is a stronger team than let on. Like they've had such a shitty run for most part of the 2000s ish. But now they seem to be putting together. They got the quarterback. I think he's good enough to take them far into the playoffs. It's just, do they have the right tools around them? I think they might be there.
Yeah. Well, who's gonna really take this from them? To be honest with you, just like Calvin said, like who's gonna take it from them?
Yeah.
None of them. I mean, Houston's the only team that has any chance of like maybe Indy if Richardson plays. Like, but those are the only things that we don't, the unknowns, right?
Yeah.
Richardson, CJ Stroud, and Will Anderson. 3 unknowns. How are they going to impact the game? Other than that, fuck, I don't see anybody beating Jacksonville. Oh, not in that division, at least. I'll bet the future tomorrow.
Yeah.
I think Stroud and Richardson both need to sit a year in. So.
Yeah, but I think they're going to throw Stroud into the fire. But Richardson's not getting thrown in the fire. I read an article a couple days ago. So, but I think Stroud gets thrown in.
I think the Colts have Minshew on their roster, so
yeah,
Richardson's going to sit behind him for a year.
That's what they said. At least half the year for see how it progresses. But
Stroud is definitely getting thrown
in. Oh, 1000% getting thrown in.
No, the NFC East, man, Philadelphia to me has gotten better, and they're already a good team. Oh, yeah. So they seem scary now. Who did they swap that? They lost Miles Sanders to the Panthers, but they brought in David Montgomery, right?
No, that was Detroit.
Detroit. Yeah. Who did they bring in at running back? They brought in somebody pretty decent.
DeAndre Swift.
Yes, that was a head scratcher come draft day, but it kind of came full circle now in terms of like what do you think about that? Like Swift is pretty good. He had a really shitty injury year last year. He wasn't kind of all there, but it's kind of covered up because Jamal Williams had such a good year. But to me, Philadelphia looks like they could definitely repeat and get back into the Super Bowl with the roster that they're carrying now.
Yeah, I believe so, man. I mean, adding those 2 Georgia defensive pieces too, Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith, first round picks.
That's what already the fact that they got him at 9 was
fuck me, buddy. They just took a defense that was already pretty damn good in fantasy and in real life and made them even better. Yeah. And on top of that, Hurts is another year in, and he looked like he had the system go. AJ Brown is AJ Brown. Devontae on the other side. Swift, you know what his problem was? Is Detroit wanted a 3-down back, and he kept getting injured. But in Philadelphia, it's a carousel of backs, so it doesn't make a difference. He'll fit in.
And Jalen, they still have Gainwell, right?
Gainwell, and they still have what's his name, Boston Scott.
Yeah. Okay.
Little scat back. But yeah, man. So and Jalen dumps it off. So I don't know. They're good. They're very good.
I think it's going to be a runaway.
Like last year. Yeah, man.
Yeah, but what about Dallas? Like, okay.
What about Dallas?
They have a okay, come on now. They're not just the Toronto Maple Leafs of the NFL, but like and to be fair, they made some upgrades too at receiver. Like they have a
who's that?
Brandon Cooks.
Yeah, they brought in Cooks. Like they have a legitimate number 1 receiver in the league in CeeDee Lamb, and Cooks is a great small slot and third man option. They have all the tools. Like to me, Pollard is amazing. I was as that season unfolded, I even told it to my father-in-law because he's a huge Cowboys fan. I told him like, "Yo, they need to trade Ezekiel. They need to get rid of Ezekiel. I think Pollard's the back of the future for that team." So I think they have a solid team. It's just how much mistakes does Dak make, right?
So talented. Like they're one of the more talented teams in the NFL, but they keep fucking.
Like, yeah, I'm not doubting that. Yeah, but
can we just talk about one of the worst signings in NFL history? Can we talk about the signing of Daniel Jones?
Well, he's your David Carr, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's your David Carr.
one of the worst like this guy is like 13 and something, and they went and signed him for a ridiculous
Well,
amount.
they signed him for a lot of money, and they're about to lose Saquon too, right?
But
Oh, right.
that's my whole point. You can play one great season, and then the Giants rushed to sign this guy. There's no fucking way this guy's worth the money that he's getting for one good season.
No.
Not with the record he has. But people don't want to pay Jimmy G, who's been to the playoffs, who's been to the Super Bowl and stuff. They say, oh, he's overrated and stuff like that. But then Daniel Jones is getting what, 40 million?
Well,
The Giants just pissed me off.
I mean, they still could legitimately sneak in a wild card. Like, don't
They need a
count.
receiver, buddy. They need a receiver. They need
Yeah.
like some receivers. Like I don't even know who they. Yeah, well, yeah. I guess if he repeats what he did last year, they'd be all right. But they can't
Yeah.
lose Saquon.
Washington is, to me, out of the picture. I don't think they have much. They'll still produce like 6 to 7 wins. I don't think they can.
Who's the quarterback?
Sam Howell.
Your face when you said that, like, yeah, they're toast. Like, and the West, to me, is one of the weaker divisions because I also see it being a runaway for San Francisco. Seattle made minimal upgrades, but I don't think you can't. I don't think Gino can really take them too far with the tools that he's been given with them.
Don't talk down to Gino. Come on, he's the comeback player of the year.
I didn't say he was bad. I just don't think they have the tools around him to they have DK and they have Tyler Lockett, but if he's
just wasting talent. Like DK is an absolute beast. Like, come on, put a legitimate quarterback there to throw to him. Gino, again, played good last year, but he's an up and down quarterback. Why are we paying him all of this money?
That's true too.
Beast of a wide receiver. Like, you're just wasting DK's talent.
Yeah,
that's the best wide receiver core in the whole league. All three of them. Him, Lockett, and Jackson and Jigba from Ohio State.
Yeah.
As a rookie, that's the best wide receiver. That's the best three in the league.
Lockett is like you put that guy in the end zone, he'll catch the fucking ball. Like he is a
underrated.
Yeah, he's like if you're in the 20-30 yard range, like just outside of red zone, like throw the ball to him in the end zone, the guy makes the fucking catch. He's that kind of a guy. And then obviously DK is the big player, the big playmaker. But I just, for like you said, it's kind of a waste of talent because they don't seem like they just care about making any significant changes.
It's true. And also, I want to throw in for the 49ers. I would put them at top, but we don't know who the quarterback is, right? Purdy's coming off an injury. Lance is coming off an injury. You don't have Jimmy G anymore. They want to trade Lance. So it's like, who's going to be the starting quarterback? So for that reason, I don't know. I can't put them at top of the division.
Yeah, but look at what they did with almost no quarterback. Like they had 3 quarterback changes in 1 year and still had that season.
Yeah, but Purdy came in and he was like on fire. Like he looked like an elite quarterback.
Yeah, but you can't rely on that to be like. How many times have we seen it where somebody comes in, steps in? Like, look, we saw it with Nick Foles, Gardner Minshew. Like they come in, they have one good season, and then Nick Foles runs away with a couple million and no fucking job. Like, you know what I mean? That was.
Well, he won a Super Bowl. Let's.
Kudos to fuck off. Kudos to Nick Foles. He fucked.
Am I lying?
He fucked everybody up. No, you're not lying. He came. Yeah,
exactly.
But Carson Wentz took him there. He just won 1 game. Don't get it twisted.
Carson Wentz is a huge baby. Carson Wentz may have got him there, but he couldn't stay healthy. So Nick Foles.
But my point is,
won a Super Bowl and got paid.
My point is, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Kudos to Nick Foles. Kudos to Nick Foles. He had 1 great game, won a Super Bowl. made like 100 million after, and fucking sucked like dog cock for the rest of his career. So
He's a good
I
backup.
can't argue with you on that one, but
yeah, no, so he did a great job. He got paid and got out. Like,
The
but
Sam Bradford of the NFL.
do you what do you guys make of the Rams? Like they
Oh, they're definitely in rebuild mode.
I don't know though, because like you expect Stafford to be as it's like look at Matt Stafford's entire career. It's like he's a pretty good quarterback, and last year was a down year. Maybe he was injured, and I know I'm not saying he's going to be elite or anything like that, but he's still equal to Jimmy Garoppolo in game management, and he still has a strong arm.
yeah, but what
I don't
Donald's gone now,
Who's that?
right?
Aaron
Donald.
Donald? Where'd
Yeah,
he go?
didn't he retire?
know.
No, I don't think so.
I could have sworn.
That guy just talks some shit, but whatever. If he retires, he retires. It's all good. I mean, Stafford, you got maybe a year, maybe two out of him. That Levis kid, Levis, whatever you want to call him,
Yeah.
from Kentucky, make him learn. Stafford's not bad to learn off of. He's still got my boy Cooper Kupp.
Well, I
You
think
know,
they got a steal with Levis in the second round. I think.
yeah. I don't know how good he really is going to be, buddy, but like
Well,
he
for
can
him,
learn.
for that kid to fall back that far, and they to pick him up, and they still have a quality quarterback in Matt Stafford. Like they have a legitimate, good quarterback in
Yeah,
quarter.
exactly, right? At least he has someone to learn from.
Like,
They also got rid of their best corner. They got rid of Ramsey, right? To the Dolphins.
yeah, but
I don't
like
know. Jalen Ramsey's more trouble than he actually is a good football player sometimes.
Ramsey's good, but like I've never like I started following him when he got traded from the Jaguars to the Rams. I just don't see what's so special about him. Like he hasn't lived up to that blockbuster trade, and I think that's why they got.
I definitely think he has. He's definitely been a shutdown corner. He's up there as one of the best.
I don't think he was worth the money. That's all I'm saying.
I think he was.
Wow.
It's tough to say that nowadays. Who's worth what money? It's I guess like
Yeah. Well,
Daryl Revis nowadays would have made huge amount of money. Come on,
yeah.
that guy would have been a gazillionaire.
He was a special talent. He was like you could put him close to Deion Sanders.
Yeah.
That's how great I think he was. He could literally completely shut down, and for his size and everything like that, he made it. He wasn't like some 6'5" corner. He was a short corner. Definitely would have been up there in the $25-30 million range if he were playing
Yeah.
today.
Now the North. Do you guys think Chicago made enough changes to be a contender?
I like Minnesota or
I'm picking Detroit.
yeah, I'm picking Minnesota. One more year with Kirk Cousins. That bastard.
I like Kirk. Leave him alone.
That bastard.
He may not. He may not win after 4 o'clock, but he still wins games. Leave Kirk Cousins alone. He's underrated and underpaid, in my opinion. But
I'll agree with you. I think he is underrated. I think he is a decent quarterback, but definitely Detroit is. I think take the division. I think it will be between Detroit and the Vikings. I think Green Bay is going to be last in the division.
who did Detroit bring in at running back? Did they drafted a guy? Right?
Yeah,
They brought in Montgomery and drafted Gibbs.
Yeah, okay. So, because that was the biggest question mark, because I think Goff was a great addition to that team. He was never a bad quarterback. Like people forget that he took those guys to the Super Bowl, right? And then they traded him, and then obviously Stafford won the Super Bowl with them. But Goff, everyone wrote him off after that, and then all of us like now that people are acting surprised. I think he's fucking legit, and he has a great team around him. And I think that the biggest part to that whole thing is like the actual team and the coaching staff just let him kind of do his thing.
I like Goff, but yeah, definitely. I think they'll take the division.
Do you think though? Do you think though losing like Jamal Williams and that leadership he gave to them would be a big hit?
No, you lose someone, you move on. Like doesn't matter what your leadership status is. Like once you're gone, you're gone. Find someone new, throw them in there, get on the field.
Now, the only thing that I have a question about in that division is Minnesota because I don't like. You look at that last season; they had so many games where defensively they looked so bad, right?
Defensively, they suck.
Yeah. So how can they take that division when they're defensively so bad?
I don't know, score more points than the other team.
No.
That's my thing. They added that guy, what's his name? Jay Addison, whatever. He's gonna take over for what's that white guy that used to play on their team? Adam Thielen. That's it. And so like
This guy's like, what's the white guy on a football team? I don't know. Half of them are fucking white. What are you?
I don't know. It's just Adam Thielen, the important white guy. Come on.
Yeah.
Thielen. So they got all the pieces now on offense. So yeah, they're just gonna have to score more points than the other team. It's just like they did against Indianapolis, coming back from 30 points down. They need to score more points. That's it. Chicago's the dark horse in that division. If they made enough moves this year and Justin Fields takes the next step, they could be something. Could.
Okay, but I don't know. I was gonna say something stupid, but I'm good at that. I Minnesota defense is just that bad. Like I remember what I was doing some work and I had that game when they played who did they have that wild game with? Indianapolis, right?
Indianapolis, yeah.
And Indianapolis at that point was so bad. And I'm like, how is this like that's how bad their defense is. They competed with Indianapolis.
The corpse of Matt Ryan.
Yeah, like what the fuck? So I mean they haven't made any significant upgrades, so I don't even rate them there. Like they're going with the same defense. Like how much can you rely on Justin Jefferson catching random balls?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's great, but like how much can Kirk Cousins and Justin Jefferson's throw for if you're gonna give up 25, 30 points a game? Like I'm sorry, they didn't make any improvements on defense, so they're not gonna do shit, in my opinion.
Chicago has a chance, though. Chicago does have a chance.
Yeah.
I guess the division is pretty weak, so I like the Lions' defense. They have a great defense, and their offense is pretty decent. So
Think DJ Moore does anything on Chicago?
Well,
He did. I don't know if he was washed or was it poor quarterback play.
it could be both.
Yeah, I think Field needs to take a huge improvement. Listen, they definitely need to work on the like like this poor kid is running for his life like every snap. Like,
That motherfucker's fast.
Yeah.
he is fast, but like in all honesty, if they fix that old line and allow him to throw, he could be like I want to say like a Lamar Jackson. Right?
He'd be stronger than Lamar, in my opinion, because
I agree.
His frame, like, look, if I'm looking,
he's more bulky.
Yeah, you look at Fields, you look at Jalen, and you look at Lamar. Of the three of them, Lamar is the most frail. Like the other two, like Jalen Hurts is a beast. That guy's squatting 600-700 pounds in the weight room. I've seen some videos of that. Like Lamar's not doing that, right? Like Jalen Hurts is like if you watch him in his fucking stance, he's in a lunge. He's the only quarterback in a fucking lunge. That's how strong his legs are. He's just hanging out in a lunge, calling plays. Like he's like in terms of durability, him and Fields are like as those elite running quarterbacks have way more durability than Lamar.
Oh yeah, and I Fields is a bit of a better passer than Lamar, but again, you don't have an O line, and they're constantly sacking you, or you're running for your life.
No, I mean, yeah, that makes sense
for sure. Yeah,
but like,
You should demand it.
Go to Miami.
Somewhat. So
now Atlanta, Carolina, New Orleans, and Tampa, like that's another shit division, right? But Carolina made a lot of moves Do you think it was enough to kind of put them ahead? I think it might be enough because the overall division, I think you're looking at maybe Carolina and New Orleans being the two top teams in that division.
What? You don't think Desmond is going to do anything for Atlanta?
No,
Desmond.
no,
Come on, he's got a semi-Caribbean name, so I thought he was going to do something. But
no.
They're waste again. This is like Atlanta is like the Seahawks. They're just wasting the talent that they have. Like Pitts is a beast of a talent. Like one of the best tight ends in the league, like top 5. And they're just wasting. Like, why are you wasting? Go and get a quarterback. Like,
Yeah.
play games. Why
true.
play at the quarterback? You know you have shit on your roster. You know you have somewhat good talent. Stop wasting your talent.
Well, when
Yeah,
they were
they got-
rumored for Lamar, I was like, okay, I see it because they had those days with Michael Vick and it's a very successful kind of couple 2 or 3 years with Vic and that kind of an offense. So, but when they didn't, when that rumor kind of got shut down, I'm like, well, then what are you going to do? Are you making a move for Aaron Rodgers? Are you like, are you make like, and then nothing. They didn't do anything with it.
I think the whole thing with Lamar was some type of conspiracy. The fact that no team was willing to give up 2 first-round picks and sign this guy still boggles. I'm happy we signed him, but it still boggles my mind that teams didn't find an elite quarterback with 2 first-round picks.
Yeah, but okay, I'm not arguing
Especially
with you.
Atlanta.
I'm not arguing with you, but I will defend the owners because okay, let's be honest. The Browns fucked everybody.
I agree.
When they did that deal, like
Deshaun. Yeah.
yeah, like okay, I like okay, we can get into all the politics and these rich bastards and whatever, and they should pay players. They make a whole lot of money, but at the end of the day, it's like the WNBA. If you're not bringing in revenue and no one's watching you, like you're not like making any money. So these guys have to keep their pocketbooks, hefty in order to you like look at like the guy that owns the Panthers, David Tepper. He's fucking putting out money to make a try to build a championship team. So I can't get mad at them for like saying, "Hey, we need to everybody hold out on Lamar." And if it is a conspiracy, yeah, I agree with it because what are you going to set this precedent that every guy is going to get guaranteed money? You can't.
But I think personally that all contracts should be guaranteed regardless. Like I don't understand this whole method of we're going to sign you for $50 million, but we're only 23 million is going to be guaranteed. I don't understand this concept. The NBA, all contracts are guaranteed. You sign for 50 million, that's what you're getting. 50
Yeah,
million.
but in the NBA, the guy's average career is not 3 years.
Even more reason to give them guaranteed money.
Well, the owners don't want to be out that money. I see both sides.
I see both sides, and no side is wrong. The side of capitalism is not wrong, and the side of the labor that's freaking the talent is not wrong either. But like, where's the happy medium? I think like the Browns did a disservice, and if there was a conspiracy within the owners to, you know, keep this thing non-guaranteed so that players don't think that that's going to be the new norm. I don't see what's wrong with them doing that. Like there has to be that line drawn in the sand. Otherwise, it's going to be the Wild West. What is if these guys are all chasing fully guaranteed? You're not having an NFL. Nobody's fucking going to play because no one's going to pay them.
That's not true. Oh.
That is true. That is true. You think these guys are going to be these owners are going to be paying fully guaranteed contracts to everybody? No. Not in a sport like football. Basketball is a different sport. The guys can have 10-year careers. These guys are having 3-year careers. They could be hurt the next day, and you give them a guaranteed 80 million, and then fucking you'll like watch Lamar could break his leg in the first 2 games, and you're out 50 million guaranteed. You get it?
I get both sides. I get both sides at the end. There's no real happy medium, but
No, there's not. But I'm not. You can't be mad at the owners for doing that. Like if it was a conspiracy, it is what it is.
it was a clear conspiracy. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. We're a conspiracy. You have
There's something wrong for sure.
you have teams who don't Jets, the Falcons, Miami. Like you had several
Tampa.
teams, and you're telling me
What do you mean? They have Baker Mayfield.
Tampa.
no.
I feel sorry for Baker because he's just wrongfully due processed in this league. He was not.
Baker Mayfield.
He was not a bad quarterback.
Wasn't. I like Baker.
I don't know. He sounds like a country music song. Baker
Yeah.
Mayfield.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not arguing that, but I'm just saying he's not. When the Browns ditched him for Watson, they kind of just literally just kicked him to the curb, and then everyone kind of just wrote him off. And I'm like, why? He's not bad at all. He's actually a really good quarterback.
That division sucks.
Well, yeah, that's true. Anyway, knowing what we know now, who obviously more things are gonna happen by the time next time we do this. Who do you guys think are the favorites this year? Just pick one. Who you think can from each side,
For a Super Bowl?
or just to go far and make an impact this year?
Eagles.
Yeah, I was gonna say the Eagles.
Yeah, so I'm gonna say our Ravens. Obviously for the AFC and then for NFC. I'm gonna pick, and I don't know why. I'm gonna pick Dallas.
Okay, that's interesting.
I'm
But
gonna
I
pick
ain't
Dallas.
mad though. I can see it. I definitely gonna go with the Eagles, and I'm not gonna say the Ravens. I think he at the end of the day, until he's hurt or can't play football anymore, Patrick
Yes.
Mahomes, like to me, that was I'm gonna just say it. That was the best showing of a quarterback that I can see in recent memory. He literally had half a ligament in his ankle. Like the guy couldn't walk for 2 games and fucking showed up. I don't know what they injected him with, but they injected him with some shit to hide that pain and to come back and to win a Super Bowl with like the lesser quarterbacks. Like, come on, let's be honest. Lamar would have not played those games.
Joey
So,
B, baby. I'm picking Cincinnati.
I don't think they got it, man. I don't
They
think
got
they
the
have.
quarterback. So
I think they.
sometimes that's all you
I think they're just like the Bills. They had that time, and they're gonna.
Nah, I think Joe Burrow's a better quarterback than Josh Allen, but that's just me.
I would.
Yeah.
He's more
Anyway,
accurate. He throws way more accurate, and he's better in the mind.
all right. So we just ran through the NFL and we ran through the offseason. Thank you guys for doing it. I mean, there's still going to be a lot of movement between now and the start of the season. So I mean, this is one of the more exciting off seasons, especially because of what Lamar did. Kind of doing that. So it was that. I'm glad we got to catch up and do this, and we'll do it again closer to the season when things unfold even more.
Sure, man.